Cuba, que viva Cuba.
Hi guys, it's Jay from Ayaba's Wynd. I'm here today to do the first half of August reading for the Libra Collective. I'm going to start off with some prayers to call forth the spirit guides and protections of the Libra Collective. Um, as I said in previous videos, I am a priestess in the Yoruba tradition, um, and I practice in the ways of Espiritismo um, out of Cuba and Puerto Rico. And so my interpretation of the cards will be a little different than other interpretations that you've seen online. Okay? So I'm going to say a quick prayer and then we'll get started. Light, peace, and progress to the spirit guides, protections, guardian angels of the Libra Collective, whose birthdays fall between September 23rd and October 22nd. Light, peace, and progress to the spirit guides, protections, guardian angels of the Libra Collective, whose birthdays fall between September 23rd and October 22nd. Light, peace, and progress to the spirit guides, guardian angels, guides and protections of the Libra Collective, whose birthdays fall between um, September 23rd and October 22nd. I come before you here today to channel the information that you want me to give to your Libra children. I pray that the information that you give is accurate, it is clear, and it gives your Libra children the clarity, the help, the guidance they need to be able to move forward to achieve their destiny in the most positive, successful way possible. I honor you and I praise you and I thank you for being here. And I pray that you will help your Libra collective to be able to ascend, to fulfill their dreams and accomplish their goals. I honor you and I praise you and I thank you. Multiple. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to get started. I'm going to first read from the Orisha Tarot, and then I'm going to pull some Odu, which is the living doctrine rather, that guides us in fulfilling our destiny in the most positive, successful way possible. So I'm going to pull 5 cards from the Orisha deck, and then we'll go from there. Okay. It's too many cards. There we go. All right, so let's see. Got a lot of reversals here. I said I don't really read reversals, but I will in this case. Okay. All right, so we have 6. Spirit wanted me to read 6 for you, so that's what I'm going to do. All right, so the first card we have is the 8 of Cups, and we have the 4 of Swords. We have the 8 of Swords. We have Karma. We have the 4 of Wands. And we have the enslaved prisoner. Okay. So the card that really stands out first is the Karma card. So just keep in mind, guys, that whatever you put out there is going to come back to you, whether it's good or bad. So during these next several days in August, and I'm covering the first part of August, just keep in mind that you may be receiving karma. Okay. I don't know in what form. It could come in the form of a tower moment. We don't know just yet. So, but just keep in mind karma is here. Okay. And you have an old woman, you have on the other side of her when she was young, and she's just basically thinking and reminiscing about the things she's done, and she has basically the scales over her and eyes watching her. okay? Basically looking at all the good she's done and looking at the bad that she's done, and it's being weighed for Judgment Day. The next card that comes out that stood out was the enslaved prisoner, okay? So if you were feeling um, mentally enslaved, physically um, enclosed or enslaved by someone or something, it's saying that that time is soon ending, okay? So look forward to that, but you really will have to work on, putting good things out there, doing good deeds so that you can release the chains that bind you, okay? You have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands came reversed, okay? It came reversed. And basically, Four of Wands in the classic tarot talks about happiness and fulfillment, fulfilling your dreams. Um, However, it came reversed. So there are some issues here that are blocking you from happiness, from wish fulfillment, whatever that may be. So we're going to look to see what those things may be and try and unblock you from that. We also had the Eight of Wands, okay, that came up as well. And basically, it came reverse. It's basically showing that you feel caged in, you feel trapped. I don't know if it's a person that's making you feel trapped or it's a situation that's making you feel trapped, but it came reversed, okay? So that means that that feeling of being trapped, mental enslavement, um, isolation, that is going to be soon ending for you, which is great news. It's great news for you. All right. We have, let's see, we have um, the Four of Swords, okay? And we have basically these spiritual men that are walking through the desert with treasures, okay? This Four of Swords came reversed. So um, there's gonna be a holdup somewhere. Something that you're working on, something that you're doing, there's gonna be a holdup until you can release yourself from things that are binding you, okay? And that's going to be soon ending because these cards came reverse. But you got to be very careful. You're walking a tightrope because here we have the Eight of Cups. And so the Eight of Cups talks about, in the typical tarot, talks about going after a dream. Well, here it's saying that your dreams, your goals, plans could be sabotaged by something. And this came straight, okay? So you really have to be very careful. If you see in the picture, you see the octopus wrapping its tentacles around this ship that was headed for a destination. And so there could be things that are in the way that are blocking your progress, all right? So we're just going to keep these cards in mind, and I'm going to pull from some Odu. And like I said, Odu is a living doctrine that kind of guides us and helps us with fulfilling our destiny. I'm going to pull some cards, maybe one or two cards, and then we'll talk about how you can remedy those situations and fulfill your dreams. So I'm going to pull five. It didn't take any time at all. Let's see. Pull two. Okay, here we go. All right. So let's see what Odu has for you. Okay. So, like I said, you're really on the edge. You're on the verge of greatness. You're on the verge of success. You're on the verge of freeing yourself from whatever situation you're in. Um, Basically, the first Odu that comes up talks about the wrong that you have done, don't do it again. So basically, it's warning you. Remember, we talked about karma. Okay, so the Orisha is in agreement with the Odu, and Odu is confirming the Orisha cards that I pulled. Okay, basically it's saying if you do any more wrong, it's going to come back to bite you. And I don't think you want that. You really, at this time, you have to be careful with the law or something that you quote unquote killed or covered up. Okay, you got to be careful because something could be creeping back through the surface um, to try and haunt you, try and imprison you. Okay, and there's two imprisonment cards here. They came reverse, but still, it wants you to keep your eyes on the law enforcement, doing illegal things, okay? And it's saying the wrong that you have done, do not do it again. A spirit is watching you, okay? The spirit is watching you. It's watching your every move. It's watching the good things that you do. It's watching the things that are not so good, okay? So basically, you're being held. You're being held in judgment. This is like the combination of the judgment and the justice card, all right? Your criticism prevents you from seeing other people's worth. So it's saying that you're really hyper critical of people, okay? And really, and it could be that your ego is getting in the way of things. So really try and soften that, lighten up, try and do some white baths to really give you the clarity you need. I put the recipe for white baths on my discussion section of the channel. And basically, you mix all those ingredients with your left hand, and you're saying prayers to give you the clarity, to cool you out, to calm you down. And then after you physically bathe, then you put it over your head and over your body, and you air dry. Okay, and you should really start to see some improvements, some clarity in all of your situations. Um, it's saying here, be careful of legal papers and legal documents of what you sign. Okay, because there could be some traps here. Okay, there could be something trying to trap you, something on the verge of collapse. Okay, so just be very careful. You want to receive your blessings. These men were walking towards whatever it is that they were walking towards to bring treasures. Okay, but something stopped them because this card came reverse. All right, and so you want all of the blessings. You want the treasures, the wealth, the love, the passion, and success in your life. Okay, so we really want to make sure that we are watching these things. All right. The next card that came talks about you were born to be served and not to serve. This came with another sign as well. I can't remember. So basically, what that's saying is that you really should find yourself in a position of kingship. You should really crown yourself, okay? And that you should be really working towards success, um, growth, independence in whatever it is you're working on. It's saying here that you're a spiritual sponge, so you have to be careful who you're around. With Libras, I noticed that they tend to adapt and take on the characteristics of the people that they're around, okay? And so basically, if there's a lot of angst, there's depression, there are people that are doing things they shouldn't be doing. Libras tend to absorb that energy, okay? And they can start feeling sad, depressed, angry, trapped, for no reason. There may be no justification for it, but because you're a sponge and you soak up spiritual information, this could be impacting you. And that's why the white baths come in, and they work really well to clear that up. It's saying that you tend to be a little bit arrogant, full of yourself, a little egotistical, okay? And so, in which case, that breeds jealousy, it breeds envy, it breeds problems. All right. And so just try and watch that because you want your riches to come in. You want the scales to be in your favor. And you want, freedom. You want your freedom. And so it's showing that the chains are falling off and you're slowly getting to where you need to go. But, you really need to watch for your arrogance. It's saying no borrowing clothes. Do not borrow clothes. Clothes absorb energy, okay? Whether you wash them physically with soap and hot water, it still has the spiritual imprint from the person that wore it before you, okay? So if you borrow clothes and you start feeling sad, you start feeling angry, you start feeling really weird, that's a no-no. Just don't do it, okay? No borrowing clothes. It's best to go buy something at the dollar store or whatever it is, as opposed to borrowing someone's clothes. It's saying here that if you are a male, there were some father and son issues in your life, okay? And that these issues really have to be addressed. If your father is alive, really try and work on reconnecting with him. You know, there should be kind of some kind of apologies taking place. If your father is passed away, if he's crossed over, you can definitely light a candle for him, say prayers, offer apologies to him, pray for his spirit's upliftment and for the forgiveness of his sins in the earthly plane and his advancement in the spiritual plane. Or if he violated you, you can tell him that, I accept your apology, I forgive you. Um, but really, he wants some kind of acknowledgement and attention. So, if you're a male, there were father and son issues somewhere, and it has to be addressed. You can light a candle in a Catholic church, say prayers for him as well. Um, it's saying here that adultery brings death. Okay, adultery brings death. Okay, it's a heavy part of this Odu. But really, you have to be very careful in doing threes. No threes, okay? Because you could be dealing with someone who has a crazy woman or a crazy man, a crazy husband, a crazy wife. And basically, if they find out that you and this person are dealing with one another, they could possibly kill you. They can stalk you, track you, hunt you down, disturb your family, disturb your job, cause you to lose your job, go to prison even. So really, you got to be careful of that. Also, in this whole adultery piece, someone could be sick. They can have an STD. They can have HIV/AIDS. You know what I'm saying? Or some kind of disease that can be passed on from one person to another, which can cause you to get sick. So you really have to be careful of this. It's saying you have to be cautious with your eyes, all right? Your eyes are very important here. If you do a lot of reading at night, you read while you're in bed, the lighting in bedrooms tends to not be that bright, okay? So it's saying here that you need to really read in bright light because there's a potential for you to go blind or to lose your eyesight. So you really want to take care of your eyes, all right? It's saying here no red foods for this time period. It's kind of like there there's some issues with red foods. Red is a hot color. It's a very spiritually charged color, okay? But with red foods, because there's a little bit of heat to this Odu, you really want to watch it. And sometimes you may tend to be a little fiery as far as temper is concerned. So you don't need anything. You don't need to ingest anything red that's going to fire you up even more. Um, and that red includes like eating meat rare or raw. Okay. Um, Eating steak rare. I know people love that, but really for these next several days, don't do it because it's saying that you could potentially get sick. All right. It's also saying no heads and no tails of animals in your food. So I know like they have fish head fish head soup. They have oxtail, and all of these foods are really wonderful and they're really tasty, but it's a no-no. And with that, you want to watch eating like sausage, hot dogs, because I know that they chop up a lot of the heads and tails, head parts and the tail parts, and they throw them into this meat while they're making these sausages. And so it's saying at this time you can get sick. It's saying no ripped clothing and no holes. Okay. I know like ripped clothing is the hot thing to wear now, but it's saying here with holes, you want to definitely protect your wealth. And so it's symbolic. But it's saying that the more holes you wear, the more your luck and the more your blessings leak out. You lose your luck and you lose your blessings, okay? And so you see these men with all these riches, okay? But this card came reversed. So in order to maintain your riches and your wealth, you definitely want to not wear clothes with holes or rips in them. And remember, your Odu that came is you were born to be served and not served. Who gets served? Royalty, kings and queens, okay? I don't think anywhere in the history, unless the king was in the middle of a war, that you've seen a king wearing tattered holy clothing. No. Okay? And so this it's symbolic, but at the same time, it's a serious thing. You want to keep your money, you want to keep your wealth, and you want to keep your self-esteem, your self-confidence, your self-worth up. Okay? It's saying no holes. So also with the no holes on your body, you have to be careful of all the holes on your body, your ears, your eyes, your mouth, your nose, your genitals, okay? Any opening or hole in your body, because infection and disease can enter and it can make you very sick, okay? And not only that, we're in this earthly dimension, but there are spirits that roam that are stuck, okay? They haven't completely ascended. They're low vibration, low energy, low vibration spirits, low vibration energies, okay, that stay floating here in this earthly plane. And so they can enter in through these holes. And that's why, when you're in the street, you shouldn't walk over holes. Don't walk over sewage drains. Don't walk over subway grates. Be careful of holes in the street. You can fall and hurt yourself. So this is warning you to be very careful because you can get injury. There can be spirit that enters in through your body. There can be sickness that enters in through these holes in your body. So just be very careful. And it says also to check before going to spiritual events. So if you're in my tradition, if you practice in the Afro-Cuban tradition, you can go and consult with a santera, a santero, um, a babalao, to see before you go to different spiritual events. But if you go to church, you're a churchgoer, even then you got to be careful. Why do you have to be careful? Because there are people that go to spiritual functions and they have a lot of problems and a lot of issues, okay? And so churches are a place that can hold a lot of sadness, a lot of anger, a lot of frustration. Remember, people are going there to be absolved of guilt. They're going there to release their sadness. They're going there for upliftment. But at the same time, there are all these energies and these low level spirits that may be causing this sadness that stays stuck in the place. And because you're a spiritual sponge, according to this Odu, you go to the church, you go to the spiritual function, and you wind up leaving knocked down, dragged out. You have no energy for the week. You have no energy to deal with your kids if you have kids. You have no energy to go to work. You're feeling sick. You're feeling down, tired. And so you don't need that in your life. So in order to solve for all these issues, the white baths are very important. Wearing white on your head. You can do like a white hat or white headscarf. Dressing in white, all white if you can. Um, taking white spiritual baths, sleeping in white sheets. Sleeping in white is wonderful because it cuts down on any negative energy that may be surrounding you. Also, sleeping with night lights. Don't sleep in complete darkness because you are a spiritual sponge, and potentially there could be spirits that are roaming. Other than that, your reading wasn't so bad. It's just really saying, just the spirit is watching you. Okay, whatever you do believe in, God, Allah, um, Buddha, Alofi, whatever it is, whatever you call God, is saying that spirit is watching you. Okay, and the scales are moving. They are shifting based on the good that you've done and the not so good things that you've done. Okay. And you can have your riches as long as you follow the things that were stated to you. I'm going to pull from the angel cards, okay, to see if there's any final messages for you. And and we'll see what happens from there. So just give me a couple seconds. I'm going to pull like one or two cards. All right. Okay. So this is what the angels are saying. Okay. We have Archangel Raphael, and Raphael says breathe. Okay. He said take several deep breaths and exhale slowly to awaken your energy and release old patterns. So if you feel stressed, if you feel like you're going to have an anxiety attack, if you feel overwhelmed because things are not going well, because it's saying, there could be things that are not going well right now. You take several breaths, breathe in, and then exhale out the stress, exhale out the negativity, exhale out the frustration. All right. And Archangel Raphael said that he is watching over you and he's protecting you. And you can look up some prayers online to say some prayers to Raphael to guide you. Okay. The next card that I pulled, Archangel Gabriel is speaking. He's talking about nurturing yourself. As you nurture a child, you nurture your own inner child. Both activities are important for you right now. So basically what it's saying is like you take care of yourself, but you take care of your children. And if you don't have children, if you see children, they're asking for money, or, if you see a kid is in need of something, make a donation, buy him a snack, do something, because it's saying when you take care of children, you're taking care of yourself. You're nurturing that inner child within you. And take care of yourself. It's saying, eat right, exercise, nurture yourself, love yourself, pamper yourself, okay? So you can get through these times, because it seems like you are going through a rough time, and these times are soon ending, okay? And in order to avoid any collapse, the archangels are speaking to you, Gabriel and Raphael. So you can look at prayers online. I'm going to see if I can post a link for some prayers. But other than that, this should carry you through mid to late August. And if you have any questions, you can email me at Ayaba's Wynd, Wynd 999 at gmail.com. And I look forward to seeing you towards the end of the month. Thank you.